A review of the quality dilemma in Online Education Revisited, Chapter 13 of the academic text, Theory and Practice of Online Learning by Tiffany Hafer. The author Nancy Parker addresses the difficulties in measuring the quality of online or distance learning, as the field is relatively new and still evolving, and such measurements can be influenced by opinion and expectation. She seems to spend an exorbitant amount of time focusing on the shortcomings of what she deems as failed management fads for the measurement of quality in higher education. While I agree that TQM, CQI, and ISO 9000 are geared toward manufacturing and industry, there are many sound concepts for measurement and needs assessments to be found in these models. To claim that techniques born from manufacturing are unworthy or beneath use in measuring higher education feels akin to saying that a person born of poor circumstance cannot rise above a certain station in life. I find it interesting that the author focuses so intently on measurement models that are less popular while ignoring the more up-to-date and versatile Six Sigma model. While I can understand some hesitancy in applying a measurement model to higher education that was not designed with higher education in mind, some type of model and associated metrics need to be used, and most models can be applied across disciplines. In addition to an apparent distrust for industry-based metrics and measurement models, the author seems to resent what she sees as corporations or big business driving educational or training practices and the assessment thereof toward something actually applicable to the workplace, as opposed to the learning for the noble endeavor of self-edification. To me, this view comes across as both naive and exclusionary. I need marketable skills, and employers have the right to demand practical abilities in the workforce. To expect higher education institutions to meander about in a haze of intelligent bliss is totally unrealistic. Like it or not, higher education institutions are corporations, at least to some extent, and they should employ best business practices. Additionally, should only those individuals who can afford to be professional students drink from the fountain of knowledge? I like that the author balks at the idea of simply slapping an online medium over a traditional classroom-based curriculum. This practice reminds me of the days when everyone seemed to be taking their old DOS-based written software and forcing it to run through Windows. However, she does negate the value of lecture-based instruction, intentionally or not, regardless of how it reaches the student. Not all lectures are devoid of student interaction and learning, and not all collaborative student projects teach the target objectives. Sometimes a student needs an instructor to instruct, not just facilitate a learning relationship with other students. For me, the most informative part of this chapter was the author's review of the Canadian recommended e-learning guidelines. While I do not know if students really ask themselves all of the questions to ensure that they pick the right course of study, I think the questions are helpful starting points for students, but even more helpful for institutions of higher education. Admissions personnel could use these questions to advise and vet candidates and potentially realize increased outcomes. But possibly more beneficial, these points could be repurposed for post-assessment. Higher education can be big business and remain true to the ideal of fostering knowledge. It may just take a little more work than we bargained for. We will still work our fingers to the bone, but we will get more than bony fingers.